Going to record. All right, Aesthetic Impact Informational Services having our monthly remote viewing session discussion and review. We have several people here this evening who have turned in sessions, students practicing and taking advantage of sharing what they've gotten in their CRV sessions. And the more we share as individuals, the more we learn, because each of us will pick up different things as we remote view our strengths and weaknesses. And so we are going to be reviewing a target tonight that Lynn has not posted on his website yet for everybody. So this is the first time anyone is seeing the feedback. And I just was explaining to everybody, I admit that I've been a little backlogged through the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to let Lynn talk about the target while I get some sessions up and get them ready for us to look at and talk about. Okay? Thanks, Lynn. I really appreciate it.
No problem. And this one is up on the website. I put it up today. Since you postponed the webinar last week, I just held back. I had it up on the server, but I didn't turn it on to appear to the public. But it's up now, and you just click on last Wednesday's date, which is February the 25th, and the whole target will come up with links to other information and all that. This is called a bike elevator. It's more like an escalator, but it was designed for this very steep hill, and bike riders would go over that hill and just have a miserable time doing it. In fact, most of them would get off and just walk their bike over the hill. And so they came up with this idea of just having a footpad that you could put your foot on and ride your bike up as the footpad went up the hill. And then, of course, it comes back down and the next person can go up. This is over in Norway, in Trondheim, Norway. And Sickle is, of course, bicycle. Heis is a lift. And so it's a bicycle lift or a bicycle elevator. There it is, a picture of it going up the entire hill. And as far as I could find out through the literature, it's free, and you just come up to that little kiosk type stand there, put your foot on the pad and push the start button, and the thing will just push you right straight up the hill. And in the literature, it said that San Francisco is looking at building just a humongous number of these because, you know, San Francisco is just one steep hill after another. And other major cities around are looking at the idea, and they are talking to this POMA group that builds these things, and it looks like it's going to take off and be a regular type thing. I think it's very neat. Now, the guy who built it here, it said that this is him in earlier years. He had a job delivering bread, I think it was, and this is a picture of him pushing his bread up the hill in his hometown. So it said it was a picture of him. It sure looks like medieval times to me, but anyway.
But just so you know, by the way, this is the opening picture for the for this target. But I thought that the one with the actual cable device would probably be the one that I wanted the camera to capture. So
yeah, it was. The article that I had used this as the first picture showing, you know, people struggling to get up a hill.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and used that. But yeah, as far as a feedback target, the one going up the hill, I think, would have been a better one. This one right here.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, I was out in San Francisco a year ago right now, and my kids, my son and daughter-in-law rode bikes. I don't know how they did it. They rode bikes. Everybody rides bikes out there on those hills.
Oh yeah, when when I had my back broken in 3 places, I was in Letterman Army Hospital out there, and they told me I wouldn't walk again for like 2 years. And I said, hell with that. And I started going and walking up and down those hills as well as I could. And by the time they released me from the hospital, I think I had gone up and down every single hill in San Francisco at least once, walking, you know. And in the beginning it was painful, but about 3 or 4 months later, there I was walking again, and they said I wouldn't even walk for 2 years.
Oh my word. Well, it seems like you're right, it's taken off. There are all kinds of people using it.
Oh yeah, all kinds of people using it, and not only bicyclists, but also I think there's a picture there of a woman with a baby carriage, yeah, and just has 1 foot on the axle and 1 foot on the pad, and just going right straight on up the hill.
Mm-hmm. Those hills are something. Whoa. Here's a kid with 2 feet on the pad.
Yeah.
All right. And this one must be hopping because she's got 1 foot on the pad and I guess maybe she's balancing.
I guess. Yeah, it looks like it.
She is. So I wanted to make sure that we gave all those pictures some time so folks could see them. And it does say that they upgraded, I think in 2012, to a better version that met safety standards. So
Yeah.
if you've got construction and stuff like that, any of you. All right. So let me just get that one feedback picture back up here. And I have the sessions that were on my hard drive. And I think I have a couple email just to download real fast and open up, and we'll be rolling. Here's Linda's because she sent in some more pages. So I will have that. And Ron's is already in. And here's Michelle, and that's everybody. And I saw by not this target, but we'll just start with Michelle's, and that way I can start closing stuff out, and hopefully all will be well. But anyway, student named Jim, who's always tied up on Wednesdays, but he hopes to be here with us at some point. Basic started right after New Year's. Got a session from him today. Very discouraged. These last 2 sessions, just awful. Oh, wringing his hands, and I thought, oh, I need to email him back right away. I said he just needs to join the rest of us in the Pig Slop Club because he had great sight contact. His perceptions were wonderful, and I sent him virtual M&Ms. But anyway,
yeah, one of the biggest problems is that especially a beginning viewer will get one thing in their mind.
Oh yeah.
And not realizing that they are describing the target all that time. And then when they see the target, it doesn't match what's in their mind.
Right.
And of course, this is the reason for the summary. You look at the feedback and you say, oh no, I'm pig slop, I'm no good. And, and then you read the summary, and the summary of what you thought you were viewing totally describes the target. And one of the big woes of a beginning viewer is I'm no good. But the funny thing is that when they have a good session, they never say, "Hey, I'm good." They always say, "This stuff works."
Okay, one more here. All right, so here's Michelle's, and I think we have 5 sessions to look at. So, usual good site contact, great IAB structure for those of you who might be brand new and fumbling your way through IAB structure. And let me see, how many pages did we have here? Too late, already running. So anyhow, her comments and what she gets are always pretty. She's got a lot of grass. Actually, she writes great summaries. So, and she makes her notes at the end. So let me scroll. Thing is, she's got baseball park fixated in her head. So I wanted to, that's a little unusual for her. So I am here. It feels good to me. Seem to be mid-center, about second or third level, looking down. And when I skimmed her session, when I saw it, the only thing I could think of, we have all those buildings going uphill. And so if you were at the bottom of a baseball stadium, symbolically or overlaying the photo, I haven't really thought about this a lot. So she cued herself, listen to this, cued herself to come out of that spot and move down into it and look up and sketch. So she's aware of levels above her, below me, curving, and in an opening and expanding design. And she thinks that the purpose of this target is recreational or entertainment type of venue. So her summary, the target has aspects of land, man-made, space, biologicals, motion, and water. The land is slanted, banked, barrier-like, rimmed, rising, pushing up, amphitheater-ish, like that word, developed, organized, city-zoned, landmarked, historically plaqued, widely cleared, cement surrounded, green swath. There's a lot of nouns in here. Cement surrounded, green swatched, strips of grassy forms, tree counted like a board game layout, ornate natured, rich soiled, watered and maintained. Manicured, guarded, the land is manicured, guarded, beloved, and it's a community hotspot. Yeah, I bet. The man-made, metallic bracketed, with visible perpendicular brace-type appendages, outer frame. And for anybody listening in who, just isn't really sure about what we're talking here today, this target feedback was not public when Michelle turned this session in. There is no way that she could have looked at this feedback and cheated, because people just have such a hard time. Well, didn't we all at one point? I'm talking with my hands down here. But this is amazing stuff. Out of all the things in the world that she could have described, this feedback was not publicly available to her. Lynn only made it public on his website today, and she did not turn her session in today. She has, again, metallic bracketed with visible perpendicular brace-type appendages, outer frame, thick, chunky concrete, massively walled as in tall, 4 to 5 stories high. Also massively walled as in thick, a foot to and a half at least. Protective, solidly designed, shelter-ready, several levels, stepped, railed, long corridored, many doored, poster arted, smartly decorated for messaging, expensively built and technologically updated. The space is well lit, accommodating, crowd-friendly, event-timed, anticipatory, high energy of humans and technology, fun, leisure, crowd-shared experiencing. The biologicals are 1, healthy, there's 2 sets that she's describing here. One is healthy team, vibrant, focused, entertaining, athletically gifted, mostly under 35 years of age, and center attention. Larger group is diverse in age, backgrounds, male and female, with more male ratio. Cheerful vibed. I think she means outlook and attitude. Pastime, positivity. Friendly, family oriented, and ticket holding, mid to upper class, more mid range socio-economically, community participating, staff server types, flow conscious as in people movement, safety centered, hospitality wired, managing focused, sharp timed, signally types, signal aware, time specific, duty bound. The motion is driving, lining up, parking, walking, filing in, twisting through and around, following ramps, climbing stairs, checking numbers, seeing and being seen, spectator. The motion back and forth energy, they do something, then they all respond. Relating again and again, building of emotion, release of sound, many sounds, unifying and exaggerating, thumbs up or down sentiment. Sitting, leaning, jumping up, clapping, cheering, singing, uniting from shared experience. The water, thirst quenching, varied flavored, container held, drinking fountains all around, sprinkler systems for nature vibrance and safety feature, narrow river by northwest of Target, greeting fountain with sculpture main entrance, coins thrown for good luck. And then she's got a whole list of stray cats and notes. Sudden heat. Well, actually, I should check her stray cats too. See what we've got here. That baseball stadium shape. A local pavilion. She mentions. Okay. Notes are sudden heat right after she wrote space. Castle building with the sports complex. Images of a local baseball team, Dayton Dragons. It just kept coming. She wanted to fight the baseball design. She vowed she's going to draw this target somehow, aware of levels above me, and she cued herself to come out of that spot. Nice work, ma'am.
Very. You can see the minute you say stadium, you can see how much of a trap those nouns are. They will trap you. But even still, describing the stadium, she was describing the target too.
Right. And so she set the stadium aside and kept fighting it.
Yeah.
But the summary is spot on.
Oh, yeah.
The stadium and the sketch of that, not so much. But you take the words in her summary, and she's describing the target. I think if you saw her scorecard and yes is yes, 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 there are going to be very few that would not fit. Very, very few. So in this one, the P3 sketch, not so much unless you realize that you're looking from the bottom of something up. And even though she names it as a stadium, she's fighting that so that she doesn't get trapped into it. And she goes back to her perceptions and continues describing the target.
And that's good discipline, too. I was wondering, did she declare an AI when she said, I'm looking down, it's below me?
I'm scrolling. Man, she is fighting that stray cat. She is setting that aside every place. Still working this target. There is I was just out there. And they just built a huge baseball stadium. Wonder how close this thing is to it. that case, she's doing what you all did in operations.
You
It's
were
like,
in Norway? You were in Norway?
no, my bad. I
Oh,
got fixated. You're right. I got fixated on San Francisco.
yeah.
Never mind. Sorry about that. Thank you for that cold water upside the head.
Okay, anytime, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, here's her AI. I'm here. It feels good to me. I seem to be mid-center, about second or third level, looking down and out over a highly manicured design. I still want to fight the baseball design, but I'll draw this target somehow.
Very good.
Then she is aware of levels above me, behind me, and curving in an open, expanding design. Cues herself to come out of that spot and move down into it, look up, and sketch. That was pretty darn innovative.
Yeah, and this is excellent creativity and flexibility in your creativity, which is something I always preach, and really good discipline.
Yep. Um, the same way when she viewed the cathedral in the salt mine, she thought that it was too. I was amazed. I mean, she'd been viewing for a little bit, but for her to create this, she viewed that cathedral and she thought it was too busy. And so she gave herself a move command to view it at night when it would be less busy. And she nailed that target. I mean, and she did that spontaneously all on her own, came up with it. Anyway, nice work, ma'am.
Very nice.
All right, now Linda has one up here that are extra pages. Let me see. All right. So she is a student of Morehouse, and so her, let's see, there's a little large here. See if I can get this toned down a little bit. All right, so the location feels to me to be in cold area of ocean, ice, and land. Norway. Uh, Air smells fresh, clean, stimulating. It's wet and salty. Some of the earth seems to be ice water, unstable, rolling. Some seems ice and stable. There seems to be some hard, craggy, porous earth, such as gray and yellowish lichen-like. And there seems to be stark environment, open, free, mostly flat, deep wild life form like seals and bears. It seems to be summertime in this target, and it seems to be very cityscape with things growing. So there's some gray, much affection, joy, and play. There are bird sounds, um, and dogs or seals, so it must have been like barking. Fast moving, humans, one human in particular, others some distant small village or encampment, some square structures, one round. Textures were smooth, rough, furry shape, and hard textiles. Tastes were wet, mineral, salty, and cold. Big sky and open horizon. Mountains in the distance, like Point Barrow on, oh, this is someplace she knows, on Kektovik, but maybe not that far north. Australia keeps coming to mind too, but it feels too cold for that. AI, intimate with nature and the elements, I feel cozy and at home. And her perceptions are fresh, new, affectionate gray, wetness, smooth, life form, play, cool, cold, sharp, hard, porous, porous again, seals, AOLs of Neptune playing dolphins and seals, craggy, love, feelings, pure joy, gray, free, exploratory purpose, intent, clarity, cold, dark, desire, white, line, chord-like, speed, fast, and joy. Then we've got hard, dark, wet, transparent, white, hard, moving, unstable, structure, light, cool, cold, solid, porous, meeting place, congregate, and happy. So in the end, we've got sounds of birds, wind, Alaska-type silence, dogs or sleds, some clanking voices. Smells are wetness, earthiness, metallic. Tastes are wet, salt, fishy, and mineral. Textures are smooth, rough, furry, sharp, hard, and textiles. Okay. Temps are cool and cold. Colors are white, gray, dark, golden, such as possibly sun, yellowish, gray, yellow, red. Visuals are roundness, horizon, sky, low-lying sun. Dimensionals are wide open, flat, deep, rolling, some squat structures. Energetics are moving, unstable, some hard and irregular, moving fluid, moving life forms, craggy, porous, aggregates, and stable, and I've got rolling. The AI familiar puts me in poetry writing mode, out in nature, beauty that it takes time to really see, sense of belonging. Let's see if I can flip this. Anybody want to bet money? Did it?
If I remember correctly on this target, I know that I zoomed in with Google Earth as clear as I could to try to find the exact location on this.
Yeah.
And Trondheim there, I think is, if I'm remembering correctly, is sort of in an L shape, is on land that if you go in really, really close, which you can on this one, it's on an L-shaped, it's bordered by an L-shaped lake type thing, a fjord actually, but it's L-shaped, pretty large body of water.
Yeah, I've got it up on my screen, and hopefully you can see it. I'm looking at it. Can you see it on yours?
I mean, I zeroed in to where you could see the street addresses and all that.
Nice.
So
yeah. But yeah, from this from the map, I mean, there's a lot of water around, but it sits on a large body of water.
Yeah, and it's right on a sort of an angled area that goes out into an L-shaped body of water.
Mm-hmm.
So the water things there, even though I never did find the actual street that it was on, and you know, get a satellite picture of it, her water perceptions sounded like they were just right on from everything I found.
And I was gonna say Michelle should probably check to see if they have a baseball stadium anywhere around there. But anyway, here's her sketch with cord and rope and life form. Structures machine. I like this yurt light. There's not too many people that can discuss yurts. In our neck of the woods anyway. And she had some extra time, so she went back in and sent a few more pages just a couple of days ago. So let's see. She's got a bad head cold, so she's working with that, setting that aside. So go to a new perspective of the target not described in original session and describe what you see. So hard, feels pitted, cold, metallic, exostructure. AOLs of learning and research building. She's getting auditorium, 3-4 stories. And Arctic type, weather meteorology as an AOL. Then she's got a corner of a building that she sketched and the top of a building, a little architecture. So we've got tedious data gathering, move to emotionals, pride, purpose, tradition, wealth, well-funded feeling, academic, yellow, cold, metallic, display and presentation, hard white, spreading, sparkling, shiny, cold, steamy, like a covering over a vent. And she is having AOLs of vents and steam and warm air exhaust from a building. So without fine-tooth combing all those feedback pictures, does anything specific stand out to anybody?
The covering, and I'm sure there's not steam coming out of that slot that goes up the hill, but there is that covering over that slot. So,
okay.
So who knows on that? I don't want to waffle, but I'm saying that might be a possibility of what she was looking at.
Right. Just kind of skimming here. There's lots of yellow there. Okay. Again, I just wanted to kind of go down through here. One thing I miss is when we do these, is not being able to go everything with a fine-tooth comb. Just because everybody's subconscious tries to do good work. Without waffling, I like to give them credit.
You bet.
Okay. And Linda usually has class. She's actually here. Yay. Glad to see you, ma'am. Thanks for sending. I know it's kind of a struggle sometimes for you to get here and or participate. And I really need to get one of Morehouse's books, just so I can understand how his people think. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have Bob and Ron's here. Okay. So let me see if I can do this. Bob's session was absolutely huge. Had a heck of a time sending it. And good, it's all here. It's in all right, so he is moving into the world of modules and advanced. So this thing's moving fast. He's as an AI. I'm enjoying watching it. All right, see if I can do this. See, y'all are you're gonna win big. You bet on me. I did it 2 times in a row. All right, so he has he's got a lot of water here, and man-made with an exterior with a toy-like ambiance, remote control concept, riding, floating, quick, motorized sound. Its purpose is amusement. The biological, childlike ambiance. We do have some children in here, but I think everybody's having some fun with this thing. Controlling man-made, maneuvering motions, amusement purpose, and Stray Cat of a speedboat, and it has an exhibition meaning.
Yeah, all of that is correct until he hits speedboat, and I think you haven't shown the rest of the session yet, but I will bet that noun is going to give him trouble.
All right, now he's working through his 5,000 move commands, keeping his nose in the target, and being curious, chasing details, and he's got some brick-like stuff going on here and some steel. He's checking out some buildings. And he's practicing some scalar tool measuring.
Very good.
Yeah. He's a very serious student, as is all, but are all. Practicing more scalars. Well, he's just a measuring fool on this now. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Might lose on this one. Oops, did it. All right, so here's a summary. Biological as aspects of water, man-made by 1 and 2, structure and land. The water is wavy and rippling in motion with a depth of approximately 8 to 10 feet. Its coloring is blue. And white with a cold temp, it's clear and crystal. Whooshing, splashing, and echoing sounds related with it. Taste is of clean and chlorine-like as its smell. Associated with it is recreation, sports-like meaning, contained with a large squarish rectangular-shaped pattern on a swimming pool, like an indoor gymnasium ambiance associated with it. And they're all coming up with this. Exterior of man-made is fiberglass-like in structure, plasticky, bland, neutral, gas-like smell. Shiny luminance makes motorized buzzing, whining, and engine sounds. The colors predominantly white. Concept associated with it is riding and create recreative meaning. Front is pointed in a boat-like structure. Its ambiance is fun and model-like tangibly. Concepts related with it are maneuvering, moving, and racing. It is smooth, plastic-like in texture and hard in density. Conceptually, its purpose is fun, recreation, amusement, and dexterity. It moves in a forward motion on the water in zippy, floating, serpentine maneuvering with a zigzag pattern, gliding around obstacle course-like tangibles. It is controlled and remotely raced by a biological one who is at a distance. There are numbers and a name in lettering on it, colored stripe pattern on it. Concepts are related with it are painted, robotic, programmed, and physics. Interior to man-made is fiberglass-like with tangibly with a concept of mechanized. Gear-like tangibles with concepts of radio frequencies, computerized related to it. Computer chip-like and wire-like tangibles related with its operation with a concept of shielding for waterproof protection. Plastic-like and silver aluminum-like tangibles within its structure located toward its rear, and it's about 5 feet in length, 10 feet wide part in measure approximately. So this part is rod-like and antenna-like. Its weight is approximately 33 pounds. There's a Bio 1 is human male, young in age, curious in emotion, and has a childlike ambiance. He's controlling and maneuvering the man-made in a racing and remote way from a distance. There is an amusement purpose with a meaning of exhibition related with him, a taste and smell of chlorine, clean and dry, related with him. His purpose is fun, recreation, showing off, and exhibiting. His feelings are excited, fun, focused, lighthearted, and amused. His background is conceptually student-like, learning, young, American, and studious. Ethnicity is Anglo-Saxon. Age is approximately 14 years. His relationship with the structure is approximately junior high level, learning, exploring, student-like, and community-oriented. Bio 2 are human in composition, both male and female. Their purpose is audience-like. They are at a distance from the man-made, approximately 50 to 100 feet, dry in texture, aligned off to the side. Their feelings are interested, curious, fun, excited, and happy. Exterior of the structure is large and square in shape, hard in density. Concept of housing, which is building-like. Tangibly concrete-like, brick and mortar-like, with large glassy window-like tangibles. There are steel-like tangibles and wood-like trim to it. Coloring is predominantly brick brown with white and red. Located in southern U.S., location with concepts of education, high school, learning, young related with it. Hilly, woodsy area off to the side along the perimeter with highway-like tangibles and busy traffic sounds there. It's interstate-like and smells at the structure are earthy, woodsy, plant-like, fresh flower, sweet, and pine. Walkway-like area, narrow in shape, hard and gray, and a color leading to its entranceway. There's a pave-like parking-like area that's square to rectangular in front of it, and there's a sign-like tangible with concepts of education and varying grade levels present there. And there's a student ambiance. Concept is orderly. Interior of the structure is open in ambiance with high vaulted height. Majority of it is solid and large. It is segmented structurally. Physically, atrium-like in areas with splashing and echoing sounds associated. Man-made in this area of structure, in this area of structure. Concepts associated with the structure are education, studious, campus-like, and I get a relaxed feeling here. There are hard, tile-like tangibles with concepts of athletic, sports, busy, education related with them there. It's swimming pool like with a smell of chlorine and a sense of learning in a fun way. So at some point, we do have some pretty heavy buy-in into the stray cat. And I don't know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of good information in that.
Yeah,
In
and
that summary.
I was gonna say, if we could, and see what you thought about this. The paragraph summary lends itself to telling a story.
Yes.
And I know that it would kill a tree to do this, but I'm trying to get folks to understand, if you would just don't use nouns and don't tell the story, break out the perceptions and say the man-made is chlorine smell, versus don't throw in there that it's a swimming pool. It may not be a swimming pool. It may be the water truck guy delivering water softener to somebody's house, but you've nailed yourself and boxed yourself into a swimming pool. So break out the sensories and the dimensionals and don't tell a story. Do not identify the target.
Right. The mantra is describe, don't identify. And in the military unit, we had a series of targets that would drive this home to the viewers, to the trainees. And one of them that would catch everybody was sand dunes in the Sahara. And rather than say wavy, they would always say water. And then, oh, describe the water. Oh, the water is very gritty, and so on, you know. And
that's some damn gritty water.
Yeah, and but this hilly areas, you know, if there's a lot of little hills or if there's wave-like hills and all, many beginning viewers will say water because they come up with those nouns, and all your mind is telling you is wavy. You know, it's like an interview and report process. A bad interviewer will write down what he thinks the interviewee is saying rather than what the interview actually says. And so,
gee, that sounds like one of the trainers that we won't mention by name.
Oh boy, I know, yeah. And you know, in this, if your mind gives you a visual or even just a feeling that something is wavy and is that shape, don't name it, because the minute you give that noun, you have just put yourself in a trap. You put your foot into a bear trap, and it will close on you, and it'll get you every time. You're right. Don't use nouns. Just beat that into your students. Do not use nouns.
I am harping and harping and harping, and I'm sure they're sick of hearing me say it again and again. But
that's okay. One day somebody else will say it, and they'll say, "Oh, why didn't Teresa tell me that?"
Yeah, we had that talk too. It's like, oh, that's the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah.
But really, and I'm not waffling, like you said, there is a ton of good information that is going to match. And the thing is, there are a lot of feedback images with this location. So, I mean, you could fine-tooth comb them all. But if you peel the perceptions out and don't pay attention to the nouns, there are going to be a lot of them that match. However, you have to be careful that you say, well, there's something silver at the site. Well, is it the house that you were looking at the time? The house is not silver, it's a green color. But, you know, there is something silver at the site, so you have to be careful that what you're looking at is definitely what you're saying the perception goes with. But
the way to do that is whenever you get something like there's something silver at the site, oh, tell me more about the silver thing. and your descriptors.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about in summary. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in the summary even. This is called backloading.
Okay.
You write in your summary. You say there's something silver at the site, and you say, "Oh, I didn't say anything about that. I wonder what it is." Curiosity is going to make the best viewer in the world, and if you're not curious, hey, take up basket weaving because you'll never be good at remote viewing. You got to be curious. And yeah, there's something silver at the site. I didn't pay any attention to that. Oh, really? Maybe I'd better go back and look. And that's your best friend in remote viewing is that curiosity.
I circled here the actual, whatever we call this little gadget, the platform down at the bottom, I guess. But anyway, I circled it in red. Even, and I'm not waffling, but he was stray catting on what he thought was like a remote controlled speedboat or something.
Yeah.
And I wondered if and I'm not waffling. I always look for like symbolic overlays or shapes that anybody is possibly looking at and thinking it's the same and just trying to identify it, but it's really this. And it's like, look at the shape or whatever and see if they bought into something.
Look at the shape, and that's the motor that pulls the thing up the hill and back down.
Exactly.
And so it makes the motor sound.
And the concept is there.
It has the greasy smell, you know, and as you go up the hill, you see that little curve in there. There's a wave, and so all of the descriptors are there. But boy, the minute you call it a boat, you're hooked.
Yep. And you're sunk, actually.
Yeah. Describe, don't identify.
Yep. So anyway, Bob, even though you're probably your head's spinning, it's like, well, okay, so was this totally trash can material, or did I? No, you've got a ton of good stuff in here. Just the nouns are going to trip you up, and you work too hard to let that happen.
Right, and the thing is, I hate when they judge sessions this way. This is the research method of judging sessions. They'll pick 5 targets at random and lay them side by side, and you read your summary, and you say, oh, I know which one it is. And with that summary that you had, I'll bet you they'd pick the right one every time.
Bob, did you want to jump in at all? Poor guy. We just like fine-tooth combed that, and that was a massive session. I think that was 28 pages.
Oh, a short session, huh?
Yeah. And actually, you know, I'm pretty proud of him because I'm proud of all of them. He has really changed up how he views in the last month to 6 weeks.
Good.
Because he is a product of our discussions here. He's a product of last year's retasking exercises. And so I had to get him to pretty much go out and learn to ride the bike by himself. It's like, no. Retasking, you're going to be lucky to have a project manager who understands retasking. They're going to want it all the first time out, you know, and if you're working sessions for somebody, which he has goals, he wants to use this, not just sit around and put his books on shelves. I said, so you have got to learn to keep your nose to the target, use those move commands, find details, chase them, and I'm scrolling up through the feedback here like it's his session. But I mean to tell you what now, he's done it. I mean, he is become like John Glass working me up at the conference. I mean, he has
Yeah.
got tons of move commands in here, every other whip stitch. And I just want everybody to notice. Yeah, I lost what I get.
Let me say
Go
two
ahead.
things here.
Uh huh.
One, if you work for an untrained project manager, they're
Right.
going to want it all in one session. If you
Right.
work for a CRV trained project manager, such as Teresa, they're going to know all about retasking. They're going to know how to use it as a very effective tool and so on.
Right.
And the other thing, of course, I knew I would forget it, and I just did.
Okay. But what led me into that whole thing was he was good for 6 to 8 pages and he was done as a intermediate student. And I'm like, no, you have got to become more independent and autonomous and start moving around this site and chasing details. So then I got maybe 8.5 pages. Like, no, you need to. And now look at him go. I mean, there for a while, Jed was using every move command and turning in 50 pages. And it's like, Jed, we're killing whole forests here. But he had the hang of it. And then Bob learned the hang of it. And I mean, it's just amazing. He's just really changed up how he views in the last, I'd say, 5, 6 weeks.
This is really impressive. And I remember what the other was. You said, all these move commands.
Mm-hmm. Huge.
I'm sure I'm sure that everybody here has heard about the thing of, drop a frog in hot water and he'll jump out, but put him in cold water and heat it up slowly, And the fact is that we notice change more than we notice something constant. And if you move around the site and keep changing, those move commands are going to be like gold because you will keep finding new things, you'll keep noticing new things, and seeing all of these move commands, oh man, wish I could get everybody to do that. That's fantastic.
Now right here on page 3, I mean, he is barely into his first P2 right here. Yep. And he got an AOL of jet skiing because those guys riding that thing, with that 1 foot on there and they're up, it's not on water kind of, but yet they're up and they're riding and their arms are out. And so, he's got an AOL of jet skiing and he had to keep fighting that through the whole session.
Yeah, and jet skiing is a gerund. A gerund is a verb used as a noun. And so there's your noun, and it trapped him.
Yeah. But like you said, if you use perceptions of people who are jet skiing, minus the water, the pure perceptions are going to describe, and plus there's P5, you can always roll this stuff out. But he's still stray cat and remote control boat and ship all the way through this thing. So he's fighting it the whole time. So if in that summary he just peel those perceptions out and not, I really would like to know if there's some water around there though. That's driving me nuts. But anyway, Bob, your mic is off. Did you want to say something? Oop. And then again, back on. He's mute again. All right. Oop. Did you want to say something, sir?
Oh, I just wanted to thank you for the instruction, of course, and I've been hearing that those nouns will get us all the time since I started this, and again, yeah, right. I think I could pay a little more attention to the summary when I do the summary and just follow your instruction, that's all, and peel those things out.
One thing that was a big session though, and I get tired. Do you have to take a break after? So, that's a massive summary for a massive session for all in one sitting. I didn't memorize. Did you take very many breaks or anything with that?
Yeah, well, before I begin the summary, I try to take a little breather in between, just to give a little space in between to, um, like Lynn said, the changes. Instead of going for the flow of everything in one shot, try to take little breaks in between and create a space in between, and then just sort of get the equilibrium of it and not get carried away with the flow.
Would you please write to every student I've ever had and tell them that? I haven't been able to get it across, and breaks are fantastic. They really help you in a session. Thank you for saying that.
Okay, thank you, Lynn.
So do you have problems regaining sight contact with your breaks? What's your little trick?
Well, I try not to look back on the session. What I'll do is probably just take the coordinates if I have to again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think looking back on it it works for me too well. I just sort of just try to keep it going forward. And if I have to take the coordinates again, I'll just take the coordinates again and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to work.
I know that imagination can creep in between session and summary, and the best practice is to do it right away. I'm personally worn out. I can't. Unless it's a really short session, I have to ditch it and come back and write my summary because I have to go rest. Maybe I'm just a wimp, but
yeah, this is one of the benefits of the outline session outline summary instead of the paragraph type summary. Is that with the outline summary, you go through the session again and again and again, but extremely fast. And with that method, you can do your summary days later, and you won't build the story that's going to get your summary all off. And so that's one of the benefits. One of the reasons the outline type summary was created. And, but I mean, the paragraph type summary he's got here, I think that would stand up in any laboratory and be chosen as the right target. This is a good target. It's got a lot of good information.
I wonder if maybe sometime in our spare time, I think people would maybe enjoy, and this is right off the top of my head, just have people send in a bunch of sessions. Let me give you hosting and let people watch you like break them down and write summaries because it would be like an exercise and they would actually see you do it. I don't know.
Sure, like that's no problem. Yeah.
Like fun to me, but
I can do that.
Well, we might have to just do that sometime in our spare time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bob. Sorry. And I think Ron's is our last session. If anybody else sent one in, I'm looking to see who's here. Janine, if you sent one in, please tell me, and I will find it. All right, so Ron sent in 7 pages, and he is just getting back in the swing of things. He's been very busy with family for about the last year. So he is getting back into, as I said, the swing of things. And we'll look at this session, but there are some sessions that I won't show. I'm not going to mix feedback and stuff and discuss that. But he is learning how to ride that bike again because some of his other sessions are looking good. So let's see here. Rolling right along. He's got a stray cat of a transport, and he's got a fountain. Sheesh. It's a busy setting. He has an AI. And you've sent me some sessions since this one. Remember, your AI goes over on the right. It's your spatial relationship to the target. Like I'm there, it's a busy setting, what have you. but I see you're interacting with it, I think. Declare the emotion that you feel about the target. So you can declare it and set it aside because you will always have an emotional reaction to a target. All right, so sketch.
Yeah, that's true, even if the emotional reaction is That emotional reaction, if undeclared, can put an on the rest of your session. And so you always declare that emotion, no matter what the emotion is.
And here we have another, like Michelle with her moved herself to the bottom thing, little site orientation sketch. Look at that leaning tower or whatever. And we've got vehicles on a city street, but I mean, everything does look leaning when you look at that. Place of commerce. All right, summary. Appears to be motion, biological, land, man-made, and water. Motion seems to come from inside a vehicle. Vehicle is green and blue, trimmed in brown. Now we're going to have to check out all those bikes. The windows are transparent, cool to the touch, and moist to the touch. Biologicals appear to be riding in or walking near and looking about. Fixate on the stroller. There are several wearing red, blue, and white. Things appear to be noisy with horn blowing. The land appears to be uneven as though tiered. The ground appears green and brown as though plants and mulch are present. And by the way, he and I just had this little chat about nouns as well. The ground appears to be the land. And then you could describe ground. So anyway, the ground appears cool and damp, appears as though it was processed and combed, as though someone was looking for something. The man-made has a metallic taste, a wooden looking, and a wooden smell. It appears hollow with transparent portals. The marking appears long and going skyward, giving the appearance of great height, which is an illusion. The water appears flowing under a stone bridge that has a wedge-shaped stone. This makes it bumpy and slick. The gray stones make humming sounds when driven over. The water flows on directly at times, making trickly sounds, and has a sour taste, a green appearance, and a musky smell. There may be a greeting person in the business area. And he had stray cats of transport and a fountain. So, of those bazillion feedback pictures,
The description of the leaning thing there was spot on for that bike ramp, that bike elevator.
Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, I mean, we've got the building, what appears to be a structure with lots of windows, which appears to be leaning. And then, I mean, he's actually drawn a vehicle, and I didn't see any. Of course, got that one fixated in my head. That one big picture. And people are allowed to drive on this. It's not closed to vehicles, is it? There are vehicles down there.
Yeah, and no, it's not closed to vehicles.
That's what I thought.
But
So,
as you're riding up that thing, you will notice that the buildings do, going down one or two more, you'll notice, okay, it's greenier on one side, but notice the one right above that. Notice the angle, the apparent angle of the buildings. And so I think that perception may have come into it.
Well, to me, the leaning buildings is perfectly appropriate just because of the angle of the hill.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. So, I mean, his sketch I thought was spot on in that regard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was kind of surprised I didn't see a stray cat of Leaning Tower Pizza somewhere.
Yeah, same here. But in the summary, the description of the leaning man-made, I mean, was just a perfect description of the bike elevator.
I think Janine says, I didn't send one. I'm just here because I never get tired of seeing sessions. I know it is fun, isn't it? I like to see what everybody gets.
Montreal, Canada, I see passing by there. Montreal, Canada is another one that wants to put these in.
San Francisco, boy, I tell you, they probably cost them a bazillion bucks, but okay, folks, that is all I have, and it's 9:15. I can check my emails again. Go ahead.
These were some very good sessions, and a lot to learn from them. The main thing on every one of these sessions is, like you say, you go into the summary, remove the nouns, and you've got excellent summaries.
By the way, I found one. Michael sent in. Michael Ash, this is for you as well. Sorry, I've been out of touch for a while. I'm back in LA working on VFX for various TV shows. Stressful, but at least it pays. He can't come. He's taking, he's another one, taking a wet painting class on Wednesdays. So
Michael also in the advanced class here, he was asked to do a sketch of the target, which happened to be the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. And he had a miserable time doing it, and he said, "Look, I am a cartoonist. Give me a computer." And with a computer program, I mean, he drew the underground part of it. He drew everything with it. And so, you know, I've tried getting a 3D program like DAZ 3D and doing my sketches on DAZ 3D. And the thing is, you can, with your cursor, you draw something, you can move to the other side of it, move around, move up above it, move down. And it actually works extremely well as a remote viewing tool. Somebody may want to try it.
Yeah, I have a couple of new students who might be interested. They're very computer oriented and tablet. They also, you know, don't want to kill trees. And I said, hey, we've got some people who can probably help you with that. I'm not the person, but I can certainly get you guys together. So.
Yeah, here's an example of his 3D work, and he was picking up information and just, you know, whipped out his laptop and did a 3D model here, and then labeled it, and it's actually a very good tool once you learn how to use it.
All right, we'll look at his summary. She put it up first. I have been bad. I haven't taught my students. You're supposed to put your summary first. Your trainer didn't tell you that. She didn't stress it. Because it's my problem, because I'm like Janine. I like to look at the sessions. I always have. So, Michael, the target has elements of man-made, smooth, element, and the man-made is smooth, cold, joined, hard, metallic feeling, reflective, bumps, ridges. Man-made is to my left. It has smooth, metallic, rounded shape, ornate feel, elevated off the floor. Oh, sorry. Oh, my. Sorry. There's a larger area in front of the man-made. Movement, turn 180 degrees around, so he gave himself a move command. Smooth, metallic part is to my right now. Second man-made, large, complex structure, flock-like, dark colored parts, parts are crossing over each other, large circular shape in the middle, movement turn 180 degrees around now. Smooth metallic part is to my left now. Large open area in front of me. Light is coming from the left. Room-like. There's an ornate structure at the top of larger open area. And then P2 motion. It's a little odd here. I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Just the way he wrote his summary, I'm trying to follow this. Sorry. P2 motion, rhythmic, regular, clicking sound, click, move, click, move, click, move. Precision, not an erratic motion, swinging in an arc, back and forth. And then he's got the motion is hard, metallic, complex, bumpy. Then it's 2 to 3 feet large range of motion. Fascinated, could watch all day. Indifferent, somebody at the site. Let me just back up for people who don't listen to us very often. His AI means he is fascinated as a viewer, as a person, could watch it all day. Someone at the site is indifferent. It's part of the scenery. So it's casual. It's no big deal to the person at the site. Then things are museum, clock, and station. And concepts are display, keep order, and stray cats are Big Ben, Grand Central Station, and the Pit and the Pendulum. So thank you, Michael. You don't intend to listen to this. I understand that. Thanks for sending in your session. It's nice to have it. Miss you, dude. Wish you'd come back.
Michael's a great remote viewer.
Yeah, I hung out with he and Ed and Pruska at IRVA one year.
Yeah. You mean Ed? Ed.
Not Thrall. The
Yeah.
other Ed. The
Not
other Ed.
Not Dames.
No, not Ed Dames.
Yeah.
Oh, Ed'll be heartbroken. I can't think of his last name. Don't tell him. All right, so I don't think there are any more sessions hiding out in my email because I actually tried to clear everything up not long ago, and that is everybody. So any general questions or anything before we adjourn? IRVA, the conference is up and running, and speakers are announcing what's going on. We have a keynote of Hal Putoff this year, and Lori and Paul are going to each address ideograms. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, I'm not going to be there, but
right.
We're trying something different this time.
Right. I've heard. It's already on the airwaves.
Oh, it is? Okay. But I'm not addressing.
Specific.
Yeah, I'm not addressing ideograms.
No, I backtracked there.
Yeah, okay.
Lori and Paul are doing ideograms.
Yeah, okay.
They need to get you up on the website and get your picture up there because we know you're going to be there. Do you know what you're speaking on yet?
Yeah, now that I'm not training anymore and nobody can say, that I'm only trying to drum up business, Russell Targ has been preaching and preaching and preaching on trying to find the efficacy of training.
Oh boy.
Does it actually make you more psychic?
Oh
and of
boy.
course the answer is no. You already are psychic, Does going to piano school give you fingers? No. Does going to a karate course give you legs and hands? No. Does learning remote viewing make you psychic? No, you already are. You already have the fingers and the hands and all that, and you already have the ability. It just teaches you new ways to use it. And so I'm trying to finally get it away from Russell's question of does it make you a better psychic to does it give you an ability, a control over your ability that you didn't have before? And so anyway, in a nutshell, that's what I'll be talking about.
Very good.
Is the efficacy of training.
Good. And you're getting them to finally do some stuff like you're going to Skype instead of actually be on site, which is a huge step forward into 2015 and web conferencing and distance conferencing and different distance learning. So IRVA is finally advancing a little bit. Yay, rock.
Yeah, and, I would rather be there.
I know.
But it's just not possible these days.
And there's no reason why you can't be there electronically,
Yeah, and the thing is, with me on something like Skype, I will be able to see the audience, and then somebody can, they'll have a microphone, somebody can come up and ask a question, and all they have to do is just point the laptop toward the microphone and...
No, actually, what they need to do, and I'm sure they're going to, and if they aren't, I'll put a bug in somebody's ear, they hook your laptop up to a projector like when you were with me at up here at the Hayner Center in Troy.
Yeah, and I did one of those in...
yeah, you'll be on a big screen.
Yeah, I've already done one of those in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And spoken at a conference in South Africa by Skype, by the way.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well.
Yeah, all they have to do is hook the laptop up to a projector.
Yeah, yeah.
So there won't be any big deal. They'll just hand somebody a mic and off they'll go, just the way they always do. So
that's right, yeah. So I'm hoping Skype doesn't do like Skype often does and, just blow out on you or whatever, but
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that'll be perfect. And if nothing else, we can bring you in through WebEx.
Yeah.
And if they're worried about Skype, no big deal. Now I'll just turn the hosting thing over to you, and you can run all the controls and do your slides, and there you go.
That would actually be very neat because I have slides, and I don't think you can do slides over Skype. So, yeah.
Actually, you can, but I'm not really proficient at it. Another one of my students was coaching me on that, but might not. You'd have to learn how to do it, and you're quite adept at all that. So, yeah, you can actually do stuff on Skype. I don't know if you can do PowerPoint, but you can do files.
Well, that's good. Yeah, just show your screen. I mean,
yeah,
you can bring something up on the screen.
Yeah, perfect. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so borrowing your WebEx for a while may be the ideal way.
Well, but the thing is, you can show your screen with Skype. So if you don't trust Skype, we can do WebEx. And if you are okay with Skype and showing your screen, that works too, because they'll have you on a projector and you'll be up on a big screen.
Yeah, I'll need to get a volunteer to test it out for me.
Not a problem. I'm sure we can. Those, you know how they are. They'll want to make sure everything works just fine, and they'll make sure that it'll be fine.
This is Irva.
I know. That's why I'm saying they will make sure that it is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every last little nuance will be fine. Okay. All right. Well, it's 9:28. Does anybody have anything?
I want to thank everybody for coming. These are good sessions, and I hope these are good learning experiences. That's what Teresa and I try to have here is, good free learning. And if y'all are getting a benefit from this, then that's just a reward for both of us. So thank you for coming and thank you for doing these sessions.
Always. And I mean, I could talk, every 5 minutes. Thank you. Then it becomes meaningless. But just look at the diversity of the sessions here. It's because you're all human, you're all different, you're all going to get different stuff. You're not Model Ts. And unless we share them, you just learn so much by looking at other people's stuff. So anyway, yeah, I'm doing better, and I promise not to try any stupid snow climbing again and falling
Good.
down.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, that was a dumb thing to do. I'm sorry.
The dumb things are in life are what makes it worth living.
Yeah, you learn from the dumb things. But I've already learned that dumb lesson, and I did it again. So anyway. All right. Good night, you guys. I'll see you in a month. Keep those sessions coming. I'm sorry I was a little unorganized tonight. I try not to do that to you very often. So thanks again, Lynn, for making these targets up for us and doing them special. They're not even available to the public yet. So
yeah, well, I have put them up. So
all of them, or just this one?
This one and the one for and the one for this week. For the 4th here. And I have the one for March, for the March webinar ready. I'll give you the links to take a look at it, but it's not turned on yet. So.
Okay. Do you have your tasking and your front loading for that one ready to go? Because this one I didn't have any, like basic, intermediate, and advanced to post.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I can send that to you, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That way I can put it in announcements.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll see you folks in a month, and thanks for coming, and thanks for sharing. Good night.
Thanks to you. Good night.
Good night.